from Gobi. He got punished by sandbags before. Not going to happen again. He's got a smoke down there to protect him as well. He pre-fires the barrels. That's obviously by design as well to get that initial kill. The CTs might be tempted to take that angle, so he always pre-fires it by the looks of things. The B-split comes in. There is going to be nothing waiting for them, though. He's in checkers, but no one watching vents at the moment. This could be problematic. Decent flashbang, but gets nothing for it.
Nearly actually did get nothing for it. It would have been a team flash a step further, but in the corner he's got a lineup and they fall into it. It's a headshot on Gobi as well. He'll go down immediately after to Fugly. If he found the third on low HP, it would have been a remarkable play, but it's still Cloud9 with the advantage as a result. Shroud missing a few uncharacteristic shots, does wrap back around to trade out with Automatic's death in the hands of Peter, but it's going to be Legia last alive and he's caught by Skadoodle. Cloud9 in the driver's seat now, are they not?
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be another eco, presumably, for NRG as well. 3 rounds against them after winning the pistol. A pause comes in. We do have 2 pauses available each half. They don't carry over to the second, so you might as well use them right. So there it is, 12-9. It's down to nothing once again. He's having a pretty impressive game so far. He must be top of the scoreboard by now. Yeah, it's him and Shroud at the top. Actually, Automatic as well. He was very good in the first half. 18, 18, 18 at the top. And yeah, nothing once again. This time not towards the sandbags, but he is a nemesis for Gopi once again, waiting in the checkers, looking for the drop down there. You'd feel like, considering they're doing a B split, maybe flashing towards the checker room. It looked a little bit too easy for nothing. He's actually not even watching the events at that point. He flashes, gets flashing towards B storage, checks it. No one actually that close to him. Just changes his attention towards the vent. Didn't really get challenged too much. It just fell into his crossarms. I was about to say maybe we get a replay of that, but we're going to just look at Peter. Like you said, it's been a while since we've seen this man at a big event. We did see him a lot, like 2014, maybe early 2015. He was coming to a lot of them, and
he was
doing decent. But
that was when he was on the roster that became CLG.
That's right, yeah.
And was eventually removed, and JDM made his triumphant return to the NA scene. He was not active at that time, actually, and CLG elected to pick him up with lack of AWPs available, and then obviously as such, we know it now, he's gone over to Liquid. But Peter's had remarkable performances, one-off performances at the X Games when CLG and he, pretty much just he, and a lot of times took down then reigning major champions LDLC, who went on to win the gold medal. So a lot of people put that name in their head, and then after that it was very inconsistent and up and down in terms of his career sense. Yeah.
Well, we're going into another problematic stage of his career, full eco. It's going to be CZs, P250s, and just running in towards A. Stewie gets that first frag.
Yeah, double flash in, 2 players go. It's going to be turned back and countered out at the door as well. Nothing holding from the forklift. We'll get 2 and fall, but it's Stewie well aware of the situation. That'll turn around, find the man at door, and then Automatic goes back hunting in A main. Very straightforward from Cloud9. Aggressive as well. They don't want to give any chance to NRG to catch them off or set up some sort of play.
Well, not really much going on in the last round. It is 13-9 now. Cloud9 homing in on the victory here on cash. We do have money available though for NRG. They've taken a couple of ecos at this point. Peter brings out the AWP once again. Like I said, both AWPs very quiet so far. I'd like to see one of them 7. They're actually pretty equal in terms of score, both on 10 frags. So
both relatively quiet, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, not had any impact whatsoever. It's just been the riflers, especially Tabson on the screen right now. Fast play towards the fence as well. Makes it in. I'm pretty sure he's not undetected. Burning alive, and Shroud sprays him down. Pretty simple frag. Tabson was so committed at that point. Now his teammates are as well, but they do get the kill on towards Shroud.
Skadoodle this time is going to try and hold from back toward the tree.
Yeah, they managed to get the man advantage at this point. Sloppy way to do it. Wasn't the most spectacular strategic approach, but you know what? They managed to get this advantage now. 4 on 3 with time remaining. Don't have to overcommit. So the CTs now they need to work for a frag here. I'm assuming it's a player towards A is going to have to do it. Stewie pushes in towards A storage, looking for information. Boost up. Doesn't get much for it, but still gets information.
Calming connector. Ooh. Skadoodle. Down goes Legia as he rotates back toward middle. Nothing's waiting for a push to come through. Trying to utilize that smoke as best as possible to find an additional angle. Not a common angle toward the vent. Quick shot. Doesn't that give him away? I don't know if that was intended or not, but either way, he's going to play small pit. There's a nifty one-way smoke you can apply there, but he doesn't like to do so. We'll get out of Gabi as a result. Not the best angle to try and fight naked from. Now it's Skadoodle inside the site, but look at the creeping play. We didn't see it. Lovely shot up close as Fugly falls. Stewie's going to follow up on Gabi. It's down to Peter. AWP getting aggressive towards Skadoodle, and he's trying to bait out the sound, but he can't make the jumps. And Skadoodle, leg shot. Very well done, and in turn he gets tagged up to 15, so a nice back-and-forth battle between the AWP players.
Like we said, they've both been pretty quiet there, but Skadoodle, he finally shows up. 3 kills for him, and he gets himself to 13 frags total. So the duel is over, and it's going to be a force buy here from NRG. Towards that beat site, didn't really work out for them. Skadoodle hitting the shots required. 14-9, they have to buy up at this point. Money's not great. 2 Galils, a P250, 2 AKs, lacking utility. I'd say, considering they do have 5 smokes here, let's just do a set piece towards the 8th site. Let's try and get a bomb down here. Push through the smokes at Galils. Hope for the best. We're running on fumes at the moment in terms of the money. Skadoodle, he's towards middle this time, challenging the boost spot. Smokes do come in. This is pretty standard for what we've seen so far from NRG. That smoke towards highway, but not going for the mid presence just yet.
Gabi, he's going to start to work up in that position mid, as you say. Tabson, he's doing a little parkour dance across the top of that small garage, the roll-up garage. He wants to cover off Z, and then as they round the corner, he and Gabi will elect to work together to take down Stewie. Skadoodle responds, though, and so too does Shroud. Shroud doubly so. Tabson falling. He's automatically will go down to Fugly, but Skadoodle has stepped back up, and it's 3 for him. Not a decoy now, is he?
No, looking sharp now in these closing rounds. Managing to shut it out. We did see a little execution there from NRG. Like I said, pretty much all you can hope for there. You got a P250, 2 Galilds, a couple of AKs. You're clutching his straws. Smokes into the side, but Skadoodle wasn't quite enough to shut him out of the situation. He managed to set down 3 nice shots there. And he's actually catching up with his teammates now. 16 frags after some influential rounds. We're going to potentially the last round. I would speculate it probably is. They're going to have 3 AKs and 2 pistols once more. And actually more mid-presence here from the CTs. Actually going to have Skadoodle looking towards a boost position. And a Shroud defending a potential B attack here.
Quick shots toward the sunroom. Shroud knew they were there. Good flash back in. That's going to give him 2 kills in the round. And it's all done, I have to say. Cloud9 find themselves on that point after Skadoodle's good performance on the A site. And a very straightforward anti-eco to close out the B site. 16-9. It was double digits in the end, Henry.
No, single figures.
That's what I meant. Or sorry, I said double, I meant.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Listen,
it's fine.
I don't just...
Okay, it's been a long day. It's fine. Yeah, so that's the result we expected. That's about the score. I think I said 16-7 or something. But you could see NRG and Co managing to pick up the second round force buy. Got 4-1 at that point. They won the second half pistol as well. And they gave them a good game overall. The money was a bit of a problem. The AWP, and especially Peter, very quiet. Didn't really have the impact we were expecting. But yeah, Cloud9, that was the expected result, I think. Shout out to Automatic. I think he had a great game. Shroud, some good clutches as well. Skadoodle, very quiet. Decent performance, nothing overall. But yeah, I think we'll throw it over to the...
I think we got to wait just 1 second. But either way, it's I mean, like you say, a very good performance from Cloud9. They go 2-0 to start things off in the event. Very important as well when you consider that, you know, guys like SK are down 0-1. You don't necessarily want to be split up in that sense. Let's say they go 0-1, you go 1-1, you play SK. Now, you know, granted, groups aside,
it was definitely a must-win game for Cloud9.
Yeah,
right?
well, and exactly.
It's
your best foot forward early is, I guess, what I'm trying to say, because there's going to be a lot of teams, as we've seen, Immortals as well. They're going to be battling from the lower end, and it seems to be a trend in tournaments lately that there's always one major team to get caught off. So the better work you do early on, the more complacent you can be. I know that sounds like an obvious statement, but it really is a deadly unpredictability in CS right now.
Shout out to Tabson as well. He had a great performance, we said he would do, and managing to get a lot of convincing rounds there for NRG in total, especially him and Legia towards middle on the CT side, doing some good work there. But yeah, not quite enough, I'm afraid. The second half really ran away from them after winning the pistol. They lost, I think it was 7 clean rounds in a row, and Cloud9 pick it up. Cash seems still like a solid map for them.
Yeah, it could be.
We're missing players on the analysts.
We're missing. They're not players.
They are players in mine. They're players in another sense of the word.
That is true. Well, I think what we'll do.
Should I run out and
maybe no? Do you want to?
No.
Do you want to get up and run?
No, not really.
I've run to interviews and left you hanging before.
That's true.
I think and interviews that were translated by 16 people, no less.
That was good.
I think what we'll do is send it over to the desk with Machine, Chad, and a missing YNK.
That's fine.
Indeed, Yanko has gone walkabouts. I mean, I can't point fingers. I did disappear as well at some point. It's just we're just loving the San Jose evening. That's what we've been having an absolutely whale of a time. But here's
thank you.
Thanks, Yanko. You did that on purpose. You absolute animal. Either way, he's on his way, and we can start talking about this matchup. It's NRG do fall, and we do once again see Cloud9 take a step in the right direction. 2 wins now under their belt, and that's going to be a kind of continuing the form that we did see from them in the online season, of course, going undefeated until Echo Fox had something to say about conceding 1 win online, and so far not a single loss for them here offline.
If you guys wanted some alone time, you could have just said so. Didn't have to, start without me.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We did our best. Henry and Sado threw us under the bus.
They did?
Yeah. They called us players in another sense of the word. I don't know what they're talking about there. And
I think there was like a 50 Cent song about that or something.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Pimps?
In the club.
Pop in, bub. Love.
Yeah, so Cloud9 still haven't lost to a North American team
in a while.
Besides Echo Fox, I believe, in the whole Pro League games they've ever played.
They're pretty good this game.
Besides that,
you guys
probably only lost to Optic.
Yeah, good job.
Good job.
Keep up the good work.
Keep it up. There they are.
Yeah, they're having a good time.
Cute little couple. But anyway, we should start talking a little about the nitty-gritty because I just saw a very upset Tabson. Very angry.
He was
Top of the
tilt-
scoreboard.
well, not tilting, he was
24
quite- yeah,
frags,
he was quite
rocking
mad.
it, and unable to make too much of an impact into Cloud9 in the grand scheme of things, Yanko.
I think when you look at the game, unfortunately for me, NRG is just playing sloppy Counter-Strike in some situations. You could see that even in the beginning of the first half, they lose pistol. They do a great job of winning the force buy, and they're stringing rounds together, but they're losing more people than they should have. Like, the round is pretty much won, but they still lose 2 or 3 players.
Okay.
And that causes a lot of economic damage, which makes it easy for Cloud9 to reset their economy once they win just one gun round, pretty much. And that's a problem, because you're putting yourself in good position strategically, but then because of those small individual mistakes, you're giving more to your opponents than you should. And obviously, at some times, their opponent is going to outplay you. And then instead of having a healthy enough economy to buy again and keep trying to outplay each other, you have to eco because of those individual mistakes.
And that was kind of the bottom line from the casters as well before they head it over to us, Chad, was that economy management for NRG was crippled on numerous occasions, especially towards the second half. Does it really just, you start pointing fingers towards these slight unnecessary individual pushes and mistakes?
Well, definitely on the CT side. You know,
Yeah.
everything's much more expensive, and to keep an economy up on a map where utility is very important on all maps. But when you're not running a retake setup or something like that, it becomes even more important. So your economy being crippled, can't buy everything you need, you can't delay for as long, and then the Ts, they have a bit of a field day. They can make decisions however they want, and you have to take gambles, you have to do pushes with whatever limited resources and utility you have, and it doesn't always work out.
And you could see for most of their T side, Cloud9 was going towards that A bomb site, knowing that the A bomb site is relatively easy to get into the bomb site and plant the bomb. Sometimes you're going to be able to do that, but then be in an unfavorable after plant position. But for Cloud9, seeing as how NRG is struggling in those like 4v4 situations after plants, they realize that they just need to get into that position, then they're probably going to outplay them when it comes to the clutch itself.
Another thing I thought that Cloud9 did really well was their mid control. They did it early, it worked quite a lot for them, and then we saw that round where Legia, he got Molotov'd out of position late, he was able to get flashed in and push out and kill 2.
Yeah.
That was later in the half though. Early on, you know, when Cloud9 wanted mid, they basically had full control of it. They were using that to do splits on either side.
Were they taking it for free, or was they working for it with flashes and smokes?
So it depends. Like, it depends on what type of setup you're running as a CT. If you're not committing more than one player to middle, once the flashes and smokes, Molotovs come over either early or late, you're out of there. There's no point. There's nothing you can do as an individual. A one-for-one trade isn't good enough. You've given up a very big part of the map, and you can't help your teammates anymore. So we kind of had a rule in Renegades that unless there was like 2 to 3 of us there, don't fight it. And we were doing a thing where me and JKS would play mid, Yam would solo at B, and the other 2 would go towards A. As soon as we called it flip side smokes, the connector smoke and the white box smoke. Once all that came over, we would call for the A guys to come. They'd flash above us. Me and Justin would pick. We'd try and fight. We'd have 4 in mid, and we'd completely give up A because that's how important we thought mid was.
Right.
In this scenario, we saw that it looked like the majority of the time the NRG were willing to give it up, and then they were punished by that B splits, A splits. You know, they could fall back and then just hit a site with multiple numbers. So I really think mid's hugely important on case. If you're going to lose it, you have to take either aggressive control of A main or push B or go for some information. You can't just sit and wait.
So some evident flaws in NRG's T side here. Despite finishing 5th in the online season, currently NRG have been unable to make an impact here in Brazil. So far going 0-2. Cloud9 quite the opposite, sitting at 2-0. Any closing thoughts on our second viewing of NRG and Cloud9 here, Yanko?
Cloud9 continuing their online Pro League form.
Keeping it up. Seem looking very fresh, and looking forward to seeing what happens when we see more C9 versus EU matchups. Of course, we got a little taste of that in Bucharest. Hopefully, we'll get some more of that here in São Paulo. Now, I keep talking about Cloud9's dominance online, and NRG, of course, gets securing that 5th spot. If you want to be able to visualize this yourself, the best way to do so is through the Score Esports application, of course, one of our proud sponsors here at ESL Pro League. So do be sure to check them out. Available on your smartphone device, both your iOS and your Google Play, so pretty much anything unless you're rocking a Windows phone. And if you are rocking a Windows phone, what are you doing? Either way, though, we are a big fan of the CS and esports. And, of course, if you like esports, Dota and LoL are in the app as well. Much love to you guys, though, and as we do take a quick break. And when we do come back, we're going to be diving into our final game of the day. It's none other than Dignitas versus NIB. Both teams with a win under their belt, but that will not be the case after our next best of 1. Stay tuned, and we'll be bringing it in just a moment.